Okay, I apologize if the highway noise comes across bizarre on the microphone here. It usually does, so that's a thing. I wanted to start the tour up here just for change of pace. I've been coming in from the back a lot. Still haven't got a whole lot of leaves back on the mulberry back there. There is a nest happening in the native grape that's being sent up the oak tree there, and this native grape is trailing down across the ground and across the fence really well. My fire pit has drained out its nice little puddle again. I should probably consider some ideas on that. Maybe some cinder block across the bottom just to give it some height. I don't know where the water could go. I haven't made a ton of very recent progress on this, but I continue to make slow progress on my expansion of the pot and pot nursery. I've been observing how the different weeds are filling in and deciding. I think I've picked a nitrogen fixer I'm comfortable with. Here's one to show you. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, these little guys. It's black vetch. Some people call it arugula, but that's not, right. It's seeming to have a really gentle growth and a whole lot of nitrogen nodules on its root system. So it's being inoculated properly here, which is, even though it's clearly an invasive, well, maybe you didn't know that, it's an invasive, even though it seems to be pretty well adapted to this soil, and, of course, the ground ivy is an invasive too. But that's what my lawn's mainly going to be, is those two things. Very low growing. That's, the whole point is I don't want to have to do anything to keep this lawn short. Just want to be able to walk on it and do whatever. I was just reviewing my water flow video and seeing what I want to prioritize next in here. I actually, yesterday, started my permaculture design course certification process. That's been taking place at Garfield Community Farm. And it's going to be a 2-week course. I just put this is like my working station. My most frequently used tools end up not making it the whole way back to the hot wreck of a mess that's back there. It's just, I could probably just have those tools for the most part and be fine. Shovel, spade, hole digger, pruners, hand trowel, and some extra pots and stuff. So, flowers that are coming in right now are the clematis and the lilies. Just the first one opened yesterday, and now we've got several of these lilies open now, and the tree lilies are getting ready. There's another of the lilies open back there in front of the kayak. We've been harvesting we call these bean flowers now, honestly, because they taste like beans. And they're daylilies. You gotta be careful, because most of these lilies with a single stalk, most of them are toxic and or poisonous and probably could kill you. Whereas a daylily with a great grass base, that's edible. But, do your own research. Don't count on me. I got hand-me-down gladiolas. These are not hardy, but they sure are cute, and they're about to bloom. Several of my hardy gladiolas held on. We're going to do a full proper tour today, because I've got a couple of fast tours recently. So if you're bored, maybe go click on the Super Speed playlist. Ha! There are Super Speed tours. I may also eventually get up and do a roof tour again, because I don't get to rambling as bad. You get a much quicker, full overview that way. Because I'm not down in it getting distracted by what I'm looking at up close. I do have flea beetle action like crazy on my eggplants. Don't know how they're going to end up doing. Tomatoes are doing fine. We got any little mini fruits yet? Little tiny mini fruits. These are supposed to all be the golden veined type. There's also tiny little mini fruits on the, oops, where am I? I caught a leaf in the frame instead of the fruit. On the little kiwis. So these are hardy kiwis. They are fuzzless. They get about grape-sized. And what I found is that if I aggressively prune this puppy, then the fruits fully ripen. But if I let it get leggy and continue to put on a ton of green growth during the fruit season, then they drop before they're ripe, and they do not ripen once they've fallen off the plant. That effect might be specific to the hardy acai kiwi, which I don't know if you can still get. At the time that I got it, it was advertised as the only fruiting hardy kiwi that didn't need a pollinator. It is parthenocarpic, which means it's basically a seedless fruit. It might get more fruit if it had a pollinator. Hard to say. You can see in here there's a few more here. Interestingly, this one here just, let me see if I can get it to focus, just bloomed yesterday. So I don't know if we might get some later fruit too, or maybe it's just that one being a weirdo. I probably missed my last couple asparagus because I got real busy. It's now just like, oh, let's get that in focus. It's now just like a ferny beast. But, you know, if any new sprouts come up, I can pick them. I'm still getting good rhubarb because I have perpetual rhubarb. I've been waiting for one of these hollyhock flowers to wilt and drop because the seed pods that develop off the back are delicious. So I'll show you that once it happens. That ends up being a really long food cycle on that. You can keep eating off it most of the year. They're like annuals or biennials, depending on the variety. Oh. Yeah, the asparagus is just basically in bloom. These are males. Male asparagus have a much longer life cycle. I had about a 50-50 male-female when I first planted them, but the females only lasted a couple years, and then they died. It's about typical. The stress of producing fruit actually kills the plant. And they weren't very, easily viable seeds. Not like they popped up all over the place or anything. The birds pretty well finished off the second half of my Juneberry harvest here. If I do want to get Juneberries at this point, I have to pull them off, very, very red, which ripe is a blue-black color, so these are not ripe. But they reach a pretty good taste profile by tomorrow or the next day on the counter. There's a second hedge of Juneberries there. The cherries are definitely done. The plum's still a wee bitty little thing, so it's not going to be fruiting anytime soon. The Haskap's or honeyberries here are brand new, and the cherry is, I guess we'll still find out if it wants to die or not, because it's been wanting to die. Another thing that's in fruit here is So it's pulling away. Red currant. There's actually quite a lot in there. I'm going to have to come back, or this video will just be me harvesting. The Josta berry is doing very well. This is its very first year, as a reminder. It does, it seems to be getting mosaic leaf spot. I have to clear out some breathing space around that puppy. My old black currant, which I think is an earlier cross of what eventually became the Josta berry, is this puppy. As you can see, this basically thicket of legging, spreading black currant is a very, very heavy producer. That one fell. Dang it. And some of these are, it's going to start coming into fruit. That's what those look like ripe, but that one's actually not ripe. It's just got a rotten spot. On the other side, the one that fell might have been ripe. That is an insane amount of production off of just one plant. The Jerusalem artichoke is getting some deer browsing too. A lot of it's just the fact that I'm so close to the cliff. I did pull off most of the flower and seed heads from the lovage here just last week. The annual line here is doing pretty well. Celery. There's a pepper. There's a pepper. They're supposed to go red, so I'm waiting. Chard. I harvested a couple of parsnips today. Not any fully developed peppers here yet. There's some pretty good peppers on there. And another celery. There's a couple more celeries in there. I don't remember where. I think, well, I did get the groundhog. It has been dispatched. But at the same time, I'm adding, these bricks are pretty sharp to touch. I've cut myself if I pick them up wrong. So I'm hoping to just maybe line the outside edge of these beds that these buggers keep getting into. I've got some lava rock around a lot of them too. It's just problematic. I added an extra hook to this garden. I got, from the course, they had some extra basil, so I got that in there. And then I added a brick and an extra low hook and a high hook onto the gate here. Because, yeah, I did notice there's a second groundhog, I'm pretty sure. So I need to reset the trap pretty soon. In here, the elephant amaranth is remaining quite small as yet. If I recall correctly, eventually it just takes off like a crazy. I do have one up in a pot, and again, I'm forgetting the name of it. I looked it up and everything, and I just can't remember. So, but this is the nitrogen fixing ground cover. I did manage to pull up another Saskatoon that was seeding in a walkway. Those are the little red berries that we picked first. They do seed around. These are a native, and they're a nice hedge, so I'm really looking forward to having more of those. They've been seeding pretty readily, but the deer also do browse them. This one's getting taller again now that the hops are growing up over it. So I'm not quite sure exactly how I'll handle that, but it'll be good. It'll be fine. Got several more in here as well. A lot of them being protected by the daffodil greens. But also some of them didn't exactly make it, so we'll see. Alright, so other than some coriander, cilantro, same thing, and hops, that's this guy, and elderberry, which is that guy. It's a lot of everything, I think. Got some front-facing flowers here. This is largely just underutilized and overgrown space. I want to extend my silage tarp such that my access walkway is going to be actually accessible, hopefully someday. Because right now it's the only way I can actually get back there is alongside the shed. I need to get back alongside the shed and trim the burdock shoots so that they don't do burrs, because I hate those. This is largely overgrown too. I found out this is mugwort and that it's crazy invasive, and then I've let it go, so I don't know what I'm going to do now. Its root system is entrenched. I also found out that daylilies grow right directly in French drain. So if that's something you need to know, they're not the healthiest ones I've got, but they're doing fine. And we're back here again. This is the other side of that raucous berry bush. There's another ripe one. Oh, nope, it's just another damaged one. Oh well. So it's at that stage where mostly what's ripe isn't actually ripe, it's just rot. The wet land that I created is still doing great. I would still love to get it deeper back in there. Don't know how soon I'm going to be able to do that. Right here we've got daylily, goldenrod. Forget the name of that. It's an invasive, but it is edible. It's very peppery. Yeah. So that's what's up in the garden these days. I hope you're having a really nice day. My garden's property line is right about there. The sun's in my eyes. It's hard to tell where I'm pointing. And, you know, very surrounded by the neighborhood. This is mine. And then uphill we've just got these Chinese privets that have gotten insanely tall. I'm slowly reclaiming the retainer wall for not having anything yet that I've actually planted this year. This is all just stuff that does itself every year. So far, that's today's harvest. I gotta go finish off the blackberry. I could be harvesting the pod off of taller daylilies too, like the ones in the cliff there that are orange. But I just haven't been. I don't know what to tell you on that. And I think that's everything. I hope you're having a good day. Bye.